Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karima and I am powered by power. Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome to episode 2 of Why I'm Still Single. So if you missed episode 1, I'm gonna need you to pause this video, go watch it. There I talked all about my family and my parents and how they kind of shaped me into who I am today, and all of the things that I learned from them, things that I had to unlearn from them, all that good stuff. Go back, check it out if you didn't watch it yet, okay? Like seriously, go watch it. Also, this is a 7-episode series. So that was episode 1. This is currently episode 2. We're gonna get into it in a second. I just want to give you a heads up on what's coming up next, so that you can stay tuned and that you can hit that button so that you don't forget, or you're not gonna miss anything, okay? Hit the button down below. It says subscribe. It is free. Join me on my journey as I become all that God wants me to be. Episode 3 is coming up tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Episode 3 is going to be about high school. Yeah, episode 3 is going to be about high school. And high school is where it got real for me. Like, my love life really catapulted, and I really kind of figured out what love was, or thought I knew what love was. Couldn't tell me nothing. I was in love. Okay. So I'm going to talk about that next episode tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. After that, I'm going to talk about college love. High school love was that puppy love, and it took a minute to kind of get out of that puppy love, but we had to grow up, right? And then we had a different kind of love. I don't know what to call my college love, but it was love, I guess. I don't know. Listen, I'm single now, so was it really love? Was it? I don't know. But I'm going to talk about it. That's going to be episode 4. Episode 5 is going to be all of my teaching experience. Not all of it, because I'm just going to focus on the first couple of years and really kind of got my feet wet. Started living by myself, doing my dream career, balancing all of that stuff and what my love life looked like during that season of my life. Then after that, I'm going to talk about just adulting as a whole and dating as a whole, and my early to mid 20s, all of my mishaps and missteps, because yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that. That's gonna be episode 6, and then episode 7, the final season finale, is going to be where I am currently, how I see myself now as a woman, as a single woman, as a woman of God, all of the things that I feel like I need to do moving forward to make sure that I become whole and I become the woman that my future husband needs me to be, because I know he's out there. He might be watching. Hey, how you doing, boo? Let me stop. No, but for real, I want to get married, and I know that God has somebody amazing for me. I don't know who it is. I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't know. We're gonna talk about that maybe a little bit. But whoever God has for me, come get me. Come find me. Okay, I'm a good thing. Anyway, let me get serious. So this episode 2, is going to be about elementary school and middle school. Y'all, I feel old thinking about all of that, because it's just wow, that was a long time ago. The only reason I'm going back that far is because I really do believe that if we don't heal the little girl that's inside of us, we won't really show up properly as an adult woman. And so, like I said before, I'm here for the ladies. I need us to get it together. I want to share my story so that we can overcome together, and we don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. Let me be the one, okay? I don't want you to do what I did. You don't got to. Jesus is a healer. He's a redeemer, okay? Let's live vicariously through the mistakes that I made, so you can save some time, because girl, nobody has time, okay? Anyway, I'm going back that far because it's important that we really reflect and think about how far we've come and the evolution of who we are. And I do believe that middle school and elementary school is where my insecurity began, where it was birthed, and it was real back then. I was super duper insecure for different reasons. Obviously, physically, my weight fluctuated a lot throughout my entire life. But in elementary school, we're gonna start there. I was chubby. I'm gonna try to put some pictures here. It's actually crazy because one of my friends from elementary school, we still are friends on Instagram, and she sent me some pictures on Instagram of us in elementary school, and I'm like, who is this girl? Like, I look like I had this big old ponytail, these big old cheeks, and I'm just like, sheesh, that was me. That was me. I didn't see myself like that in so long. So for her to send those pictures, like, wow, this was a lot. This was a long time ago, and I look like this. So I'm gonna try. And my prom pictures too, oh my goodness, my prom pictures, I was a little butterball. But elementary was decent. It wasn't crazy. I did have my first boyfriend in elementary school. Not real, like, you know, elementary school boyfriends, like, they wasn't really real. Like, we didn't do nothing. We couldn't do nothing. We was in elementary school, right? But, well, these days, elementary schoolers are doing a lot more than I ever thought I would even think about doing back then. But whatever. Anyway, yeah, but I remember him. I still follow him. We're still friends on Instagram. I was actually on his page creeping a little bit. I'm a little bit of a creep sometimes, because he popped up and I'm like, oh, his glow up is real. In elementary school, he ain't have no front teeth. I'm just like, who is this person now? Looking all good. But I just was looking. I didn't slide in his DMs and none of that, so relax. I was just looking. I think I liked a few pictures, but nothing that's like, wait, you know how sometimes I would do that to get somebody's attention. I would just go all the way down and start liking pictures like, you see me looking. You see me looking. But I haven't done that in a minute. But anyway, I say all that to say, that was where kind of like my interest in boys started to kind of like get real. He was a twin, so his sister and I hung out a lot. So kind of like just, I don't remember how it happened, but it just made sense. And we also went to the same middle school together, but we ended up not dating again. But we were friends, like we were cool. Even after the fact, like we were still cool. It was just like a little like, hey, be my boyfriend. Okay, you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend kind of elementary school thing. Not real. I would say my first real relationship was in high school, which is going to be tomorrow's episode, so make sure you watch that. But yeah, I feel like elementary school was the beginning of like just a lot of trying to figure out the skin that I was in. Like I was not really sure like how to, like I was awkward. It was just weird. But I started dancing. I also did basketball for a while. Like in elementary school, I played basketball, and on Saturdays I remember I would go to basketball. What do you call it? Basketball. You don't call them rehearsals. Practice. I just had a blind moment. It's these braids. I'm sorry. Anyway, can I be me? This is my channel. This is me. I have two masters, so don't come for me, okay? I have my moment. Yes, I would go to basketball practice in the morning, and then right after basketball practice, my mom would drive me to the city, to Alvin Ailey. I used to take dance classes at Alvin Ailey. I would do ballet and tap, and then I did ballet and African dance for 2 years. The basketball thing didn't really last too long. It didn't really stick. I think I didn't play again until my senior year in high school in like a seniors versus the basketball team game, but I was trash by then. I mean, I held my own. I probably scored a couple of points. I don't even remember, but I was not nobody's like Michael Jordan, like absolutely not. But I have a basketball court in my building now. I bought a basketball to go up there and play and shoot around, because I don't mind like shooting around. My jump shot is kind of but COVID, so they closed it. But anyway, dancing was kind of what allowed the weight to kind of go back down, and I kind of was like, okay, I'm cute. I didn't feel cute all the time. I really didn't. And I would hear like family members mention like during my like chubby phase, like, oh Lord, like I hope she loses it, like yada yada yada, just comments that they didn't think. Sometimes they would say it to me, because my family members, some of them be bold, but sometimes I would like overhear it or whatever, and not really like, it was like daggers, like okay. So I kind of was like, I don't think I knew what a diet was or dieted anything like that, but I remember just like going hard with dancing and stuff because I wanted to get the weight off. Then I went to middle school, and middle school I stopped going to Alvin Ailey because I didn't have to anymore. Philippa Schuyler is a middle school for the gifted and talented, so it was like a performing arts school. And so there I did chorus and dance, and I danced all 3 years there. And I didn't need to do Alvin Ailey anymore. I just danced there. Shout out to Miss Lonnie. She was my dance teacher. She was dope. I don't know if she's still there, but if you're watching, hey. She was like great. She was great. She was like, just tell it as it is. Like, she just you knew not to mess with Miss Lonnie. And so she was one of my first strong black female teachers that I've seen, and that I remember like making that like mark on my life. So yeah, middle school, I got boy crazy. I got real boy crazy in middle school. And for like 6th and 7th grade, I had like this group of friends where they were all real pretty, real like, they had all the assets, all the booty, all the boobs. Me with just regular, I look like a regular junior high schooler. Like, I have nothing extra. Like, my friends were like stacked, and I'm just like, all the boys were just flocking to them, like, and I'm just here twiddling my thumbs like, hey, I'm here too. But all of the boys that I liked, none of them liked me. And I remember I don't even want to call them boyfriends, because it was like one of them didn't even remember that we kind of had like this thing. Like, it was like 6th grade, like we went out, like that's what we called it, for a hot minute, and then I mentioned it again. He was like, nah, that never happened, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then another boy, apparently he like only went out with me for a bet or some nonsense. Middle school stuff. Middle schoolers are cruel. And then I was real low key. I wasn't like in nobody's face, but I was an avid journaler, like always writing about my crushes. Like, I would write poems about my crushes. I actually wrote filled this book up with poems about this one crush that I had in middle school. And then actually in high school, come to find out, he was checking for me, and we linked up, and I actually gave him the poems. It's crazy how like after the fact they be like, oh, anyway, high schoolers, middle schoolers, we don't know, we don't be knowing. Anyway, so then 8th grade kind of was like, it was I don't even know what word to use for it. Like, I was a goody two shoes. I had long skirts. Like, everybody started hiking up their skirts. I still had long skirts in 8th grade, but I changed my friend group, and so like peer pressure got real, like got really real. And I was begging my mom, like, please let me hem my skirts, like begging her. And she finally let me go hem my skirts. When I tell you this, we had uniforms, so the uniform, we had to like make it our own. We used to wear name belts back then, like nice shoes, like not shoes, sneakers, like Jordans and stuff like that. And so I really wanted to, like, you know, take this Jewish skirt off. Like, my skirt was past my knees. It wasn't always my ankles, but it was mad long. And she finally let me hem it. She let me go by myself. And so when I went to take the skirts to the cleaners, they hemmed it. I showed them where I wanted them to hem it. And so obviously when they hem it, they cut off the extra fabric and they just like sew the hem or whatever. So when I went to pick up the skirts and I took them home, my mother was like, what is this? Take them back and tell them to bring the hem down. But they couldn't really do much to it because they had cut off all the fabric. So I cut my skirts. I got short skirts, and I was feeling myself a little bit. And then my friend that I was hanging out with, she was a little bit out there. She was a little bit out there, and she pressured me to do, like, I didn't lose my virginity or anything back then, but like just stuff I shouldn't have been doing. And I ended up like feeling so guilty about it. It got around the school, and I was just like, this is what y'all choose to talk about? There was people out here doing crazy stuff in my middle school. Me, girl with the long skirts, ain't in nobody business, ain't worried about nobody. This is what y'all choose to talk about? Cool. So it was rough for me. I ended up even telling my parents, like, yo, this happened. And my parents even made me feel bad about it. Like, again, I told y'all, like, my parents were growing up with me, so they didn't really handle the situation like I really wanted them to handle it. They actually made me feel worse. It was just bad. So I just wanted 8th grade to be over. I just wanted it to be over. Like, it was not a good time for me. And so I went to high school. I went to Clara Barr in high school. So that's gonna be more so for this next episode. So if you're interested to know about what happened in high school and how I kind of like overcame that, make sure you stay tuned. But the main takeaway that I want from this episode is just to see for myself, really, and for you guys to see how even in the moment, like I feel like the end of the world, 8th grade, like if you are 8th grade watching this, I don't know if any of you guys are 8th graders, I doubt it very highly, but you never know because you can't see who's following you on YouTube, right? But I say this to say, like, in the moment, whether you're in 8th grade, whether you are married, whoever you are, like everything seems crazy in the moment. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that God has a plan and he is working it all out, and he will use everything, okay? He will use everything. This is the year where he's revealing to me to use what you have. Like nothing is wasted. Like don't worry about those things in the moment that feel like you know, like nothing else matters and this is just like the end all be all, because it's not. It's not. Do you have breath in your body? Can you breathe? Is there another day tomorrow? It's not the end all be all. So anybody that's struggling with insecurity, anybody that's struggling with like you know, making mistakes and like trying to overcome those things, like I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay, and God got you. And just look to him and trust that his plan and his final say and his thoughts for you are not the thoughts that you have for yourself, okay? So just breathe, woosah, it's gonna be okay. I wish I had somebody to tell me this in elementary and middle school, because the insecurity was real. I don't want to say I was depressed. Actually, I might have been, because I actually recently found a journal from back then, like this Hello Kitty journal with this like little lock on it still, that I thought had, you know, things moving around and stuff, things get lost, but it was actually in my father's attic. And I was reading some of the entries and I'm like, wow, like this is how I thought then. And this was a journal from elementary school, like crazy thoughts, suicidal thoughts in elementary school. And it's just the grace of God that I'm here talking to you right now, because if I was different, if I didn't have the hand of God on my life, if I didn't know God, or if I didn't have people around me to kind of, that I knew loved me, like this is what people are going through. And we just need to know that somebody somebody cares, somebody is there, whether that person is real or that person is sovereign and we can't see him, he's still there. You know what I mean? Like that's why we need family, we need people around, we need people to instill this relationship with Christ, so that we can know in our dark times, in our times where we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, if we feel so alone or so down in the dumps, like there is hope. There is hope in the one who created us, because he did not make a mistake. I'm not a mistake. I thought that for the longest. I shared that in my last episode. I thought that for the longest time, right? But look at me today. Imagine if I would have sat with those thoughts. Imagine if I didn't have the grace of God. Imagine if I didn't have the mindset to kind of like look up instead of wallow and look down and stay down, you know? So I just want to share this with you guys, to tell you guys to look up wherever you are. Maybe not be talking to any middle schoolers right now, maybe talking to you who is grown, got kids in your career, single, married, whoever you are. Like at the end of the day, God has a plan, and just trust it. Just trust his plan. Forgive yourself, because he's already forgiven you. That's why I'm creating this series, because I want the world to know that I've forgiven myself. The mistakes that I've made on my own, that I was peer pressured into, I've forgiven myself, so that I can actually be the voice that God needs me to be, to let you know to forgive yourself, because he's already died for all of that. Like he paid the ultimate cost for your mistakes, your sins, your thoughts, your actions, all of those things that we feel like we can't move past from. Like we can and we will. And so that's my tidbit for this episode. Next episode is gonna be get real. I mean, I couldn't really tell. I was in elementary school and middle school. Like that one thing in middle school probably was like the highlight of all of my elementary and middle school like shenanigans. Like it wasn't really anything crazy, but it was a lot of insecurity, and I feel like that's where it began, and that's why I had to work so hard now to kind of get over that insecurity, because it started there. So it's important that I share that to let you guys know why I'm still single, and working on my insecurities that still exist to this day. I may not have the same insecurities, but you know, they grow into bigger things, and that's why you gotta like chop those weeds. That insecurity is a weed. It's not a flower. It's not something that is blossoming. I don't want that to blossom. So I'm ripping it up and dealing with it. We got to deal with those insecurities, because they will stifle us. They will stop us from being who God wants us to be, and nobody has time for that. I'm trying to make sure at my series next year or the year after that, whenever God needs me to have it, while I'm married, not while I'm still single, because in order to do that, I gotta deal with these insecurities. So yeah, thank you for listening. Y'all know I can ramble a little bit, but I really hope that my story is going to help you guys as you listen, as you're watching, as you're following me on this on this journey. Hit that button down below to see me make blunders like that, and like just to be me. Like, I want this channel to really help me to walk in that power, walk in the fact that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And I know that because I'm sharing my story, even if it's just one, somebody is being helped. And if I helped you, let me know down below. Comment, engage with me. If you enjoyed this series, if you are enjoying this series, if something I said resonated with you, if you can like attest to something, if like that was part of your story too, if you know, let me know. Okay, talk to me, guys. I will respond back. I try to get to every single message that comes through, so let me know. Talk to me. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this, and remember that you are powered by power. I'm powered by power. You are powered by power. The ultimate power source lives within us. So stay blessed, people. He was a twin. He was actually, Cody is being disrespectful right now. I kind of want to start this over. I think I'm going to start it over. Take two. Okay, here we go. Jesus, be with me, because I need you. You know how we do this. Just one shot. Give me the words to say, and let's just get this done. No editing, no cut, paste, none of that. We just give me the words to say. Okay, take two. Sorry.